Hi guys, and welcome to our House of the Dragon Season 2 review. So yes, I'm back in quick succession with Callum with another video where we will be reviewing the latest season of House of the Dragon, which has just finished today. Me and Callum have just finished watching it about 10-15 minutes ago. So if you've been watching my channel, you'll know I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. I've done previous videos in the past. Big House of the Dragon Season 1 fan, did a review for that 2 years ago. And now with Season 2 has just concluded, back with a Season 2 review. Proud to say I've got Callum and his fiance. I've turned them into big fans when I led them on Game of Thrones box set. Now, of course, with House of the Dragon, the big prequel series. Yes, Callum, let's get started then. So, House of the Dragon Season 2. The hype was huge going into this season, for sure, because, season 1 ended and, Lucerys gets chomped up in Rhaenyra's like, to the camera, boom, and then 2-year wait for 8 episodes. But here we are anyway, it's just finished season 2. We all knew what was coming. Even non-book readers have heard of Dance of the Dragons, the big Targaryen civil war between the Greens and the Blacks for the Iron Throne. And I think a lot of fans are not mixed, but I think there's like two separate fan bases. I think for this, lots of fans want to see battles and dragons and blood and just carnage and chaos. But then the other fan base just know Game of Thrones isn't all about that. It's about the political intrigues, the storylines, the rich world, the rich history, the characters, the drama. So I think that's really split a lot of the fans this season. I think a lot of fans were expecting quite a few more battles, which we didn't really get a lot of this season, aside from episode 4, which we'll get to. So, but in terms of drama, character, acting, it's all top-notch, production value top-notch, and it does end on a very, season 3 is going to be crazy, but we've got a 2-year wait now for season 3, which will probably be 8 episodes. So it was definitely good, but I'm a bit mixed. But we'll go into more detail now. So, Callum, go on.
Yeah, I mean, season 3 is when we're talking about all those battles and everything else. It seems like season 3 is where the majority of that's going to go down, especially considering the final episode. What we had in those final couple of minutes, which we'll get to, is it's very much everyone's converging on each other, and we're going to have those big battles. King's Landing, Battle of the Gullet, and all these different things we're going to be getting in season 3. Which would be cool. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of one of those who, even if there was like one more big battle, it would have just kind of satisfied my desire to see some bloodshed. That sounds wrong. But you know what I mean? Like, we had Battle of Rook's Rest, which was fine, but even then it wasn't really like a massive battle.
Just
you didn't really see much. There wasn't really much sword fighting between, Christian and anyone else who was defending it. It was very much like, Aegon being an idiot and flying on Sunfire all drunk and getting himself burnt to a crisp. Spoiler. By the way, we should probably give a spoiler warning if anyone wants to.
Oh yeah, so spoiler. I mean, anyone who doesn't know about the future Dance of Dragons events to come, spoilers, because we'll be talking in small detail about the future battles that we're going to see in season 3. So anyone who doesn't know what's coming, spoilers. Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, still, like all around in terms of episodes, in warfare. I mean, because I'm a history teacher, there is that political element of it. There's the negotiation, there's the generals and the tactics and the different things that we've been looking at, and the different bits of turning on each other and things here and there, which is kind of what we see in a bit in the. So it was still a really good season. Still lots of drama, cliffhangers and different stuff, and it's a very high build up. So obviously, hopefully for season 3 and I think maybe season 4, obviously they're gonna really go hard on the actual Dance of Dragons bit, because it only has really just begun, really in this season. So hopefully they'll hit us hard with some of the hard hitting stuff as we go forward.
Yeah. Like Callum said, I think that's why a lot of fans are so mixed, because it was really good, but we just wanted to see a few more action set pieces, a few more dragon battles. We've had a 2-year wait for these 8 episodes, and while it was good, we just would have liked to seen a few more battles. But like Callum said, season 3 will definitely have more of that. The season finale ends with all the armies marching. The Starks are marching south to help Rhaenyra. You've got the Hightower army marching north from Old Town with a Daeron, Targaryen's dragon.
Lovely blue colour.
Yeah, so we'll see more of him in season 3. I think he plays quite a big part in future battles and future events.
One half of the Lannisters are heading towards Harrenhal, where Daemon was obviously got in his armour, presumably kind of looking out, so we might get quite an early battle of Harrenhal in season 3.
Yeah, well, I think that's what's coming next if they're going to stick to Dance of the Dragons. I think we get a big battle at Harrenhal to kick off season 3. Gullet. Because we see the Triarchy fleet is sailing, and that's the Battle of the Gullet when the Triarchy meet the Valarians, and then all the dragons come. The Gullet's going to be amazing. And then they've been teasing. Alicent's turned sides, and she said she's going to help Rhaenyra take King's Landing, which does happen. Oh, I did say spoilers. It'll happen in season 3. She does take King's Landing, and she's. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that.
But that was not something which is in the books.
Oh yeah, where she helps Alicent. I mean, she helps Rhaenyra now.
They apparently hate each other. I haven't really read the books. I know the majority of the stuff, but in the last episode, there, Alicent has gone to Dragonstone and said, "Look, I will make Aegon bend the knee." And Aegon's gone. Aegon's left with Larys in the back of a little farm in a farm truck. Yeah, we'll be back. So Aemond has been left there with Helena and Alicent, and Alicent's like, I can control Helena. I can get Aegon. Aemond's going to go off to Harrenhal, so you just come and you take King's Landing, which I think is something very different to the way the books works. But obviously that was interesting.
Let's just go over characters then. So. Rhaenyra to start off with, of course, she's pretty much one of the main characters. I'm pretty confused with Rhaenyra this season, her writing, because season 1 ends with her looking so pissed off. She's just lost her son. Episode 1 ends with her finding the remains of Arrax.
Yeah, it's Arrax's wing and Lucerys' cape as well. She finds in a bit of a fishing net that's coming off of the coast, and they've pulled them in.
And she's like, I want Aemon Targaryen. She's so pissed off. And then she spends most of the season being a pacifist. Like, she doesn't want war. Like, what is it, Rhaenyra? I know she doesn't want. She wants to avoid war at all costs, but we know it's coming. So it's a bit frustrating when Rhaenyra's not doing a whole lot until like the final few episodes, and then that really awkward scene where she kisses Mysaria. I was like, oh, what? Where did that come from? Like, I did not get a romantic vibe between those two at all, but that felt kind of out of nowhere.
That was an in the moment thing apparently between the actors. They said it felt right in the moment for them to kiss, so they did it. I mean, I don't know. Let's
talk about Daemon, the fan favourite, and he was. Apart from episode 2 to episode 8, he is stuck at Harrenhal in this plot. It's when he's trying to raise an army in the Riverlands for Rhaenyra, and he's all having all these visions with the weirwood trees and all that, and Harrenhal's haunted, and then Alice Rivers, and Simon Strong was funny. I'll give him hilarious. That. But then obviously it does pay off towards the end where he finally gets his army. Obviously with the Tully boy, plays Daemon for a fool. And
that was good.
He gets him to behead that
William Blackwood.
The Blackwood guy. So then the season ends with Daemon finally
back by Rhaenyra's side, bending the knee,
and they're all
rallying the army, saying we're going to fight for the queen, the rightful queen, because he's had a bit of a premonition from one of the trees, which I'm sure we'll get to in a moment. But I was just every episode it was just Daemon in Harrenhal having nightmares. One about him with his mother, which was odd. Again, Caraxes was just sitting there at Harrenhal for like months, just going, "Take me away, please."
Poor Caraxes.
He was just sitting there for ages, but he got there in the end. He got his army, even though the 12-year-old boy kind of twisted him a little bit, and that was funny to see. But he obviously has now bent the knee to Rhaenyra properly, and appears to be firmly stuck on her side now, because it was originally a bit like he was raising the army for himself, and he was going to challenge Rhaenyra and challenge for King's Landing himself. So there could have been like a 3-way battle for it technically, or 4 if you count Aemond being against Aegon, which is also
that would have been a huge deviation from the book. That does not happen in the book. What else can we talk about? Let's talk about Rook's Rest, probably the best episode of the season. Where we get the big dragon battle with Meleys.
Sunfire.
That was so cool. I think that was so well done. It was heartbreaking. it was a bit frustrating to watch because she could have literally just flown back. But she's such a warrior. She's like, attack me.
Yeah, she turned Maelys around to try and attack Vhagar. And then it looked like, she was going to fly. The dragon's thing was in the distance. She was flying over the castle at Rook's Rest, and then Vhagar comes from underneath and snaps around Maelys' neck. And Rhaenys has strapped herself to Maelys. She's not going to abandon her, and they both fall into the castle.
She went out like a true warrior, though, like a proper dragon rider. Sunfire, they say, is dead.
He's dead, yeah. Aegon,
but he can't be. We're not going to spoil why.
Yeah.
Because he plays a very important part, probably in season 3 or season 4. I think he's just injured, but in the book he stays at Rook's Rest because he can't fly. But I don't think he's dead. I think they just hinted that Aegon was like, my dragon's dead, but I don't think he knows. Anyway, we'll get to that in season 3. But I don't think Sunfire is dead. No.
Yeah, but I mean, he stayed true enough to the books in a sense where Aegon was obviously got his leg broken and was burnt, but I think it was a bit different because it was like Aemond who looked like he'd done it on purpose this time.
Oh, he did, yes.
Well, very much did it on purpose in the show, and he's got he became Prince Regent as well for a couple of episodes when Aegon was out. He still is
protector of the realm, yeah.
So that was interesting. Vhagar, big old dragon sitting in the forest waiting for Aemond to call on him.
Let's talk about the Dragon Riders episode, which was last week's, where of course Rhaenyra needs dragons to win this war, and she gets desperate, so she starts recruiting Targaryen bastards, of course, half Targaryens.
There was hundreds of them.
Oh yeah,
she managed to find hundreds of them to bring to dragons.
Yeah, quite a few, and basically she just throws them all at Vermithor, and Vermithor's like, yummy.
Kills the majority of them, and then
Hugh Hammer
screams in Vermithor's face, and Vermithor's like, I respect you.
Yeah, that was a bad
scene. And so Hugh claims Vermithor, and then Ulf just randomly stumbles into the cave, running away from Vermithor.
Oh, hi.
Stands on some of Silverwing's eggs, and Silverwing goes, I like you. I like you. Just like, hits her head against him, and then that's it. Basically, they're claimed. And then, of course, that shot at the end of episode 8 where they'd all flown, and Syrax and Vermithor and Silverwing and Rhaenyra are all sitting there, and Aemond comes in on Vhagar, and it was like, no, turn around.
And Vhagar was like, oh, let me at them.
We've got too many dragons, get away. But obviously, Rhaenyra has, what, 6, 7
7
dragons.
Sheep stealer,
we got that towards the end, where... Where I think it's Rhaena is about to. Well, we don't see her claim. But
that's how the season ends.
She sees, she sees sheep and it's like the sheep just throws a sheep out of her mouth or something. It's like, and then very interesting looking dragon actually. And it looks like they're going to be claimed. So Rhaenyra would have 7 dragons technically against the 2 dragons of Vhagar and Dreamfire, unless of course you count Targaryen as well from Daeron. But spoilers, they do get more dragons in one way or another next season. But we don't need to talk about that now.
Any other major plot points from this season that we could talk about?
Well, King Jaehaerys, Little Jaehaerys, Child Jaehaerys was Aegon's son was murdered by
episode 1.
The Rat Catcher, and the other, I think it was a member of the Knights of the Kingsguard or something. Because Daemon had said, because Rhaenyra had said, I want Aemond dead because Aemond killed Lucerys. And then Daemon goes, all right, yeah, okay, go on, kill Aemond. And then he says, what if we can't kill Aemond? And Daemon was like, a son for a son. And so they decapitated quite brutally. You don't see it on screen, but you hear the noise and you see that, and it was quite a disturbing thing. And obviously that's that's the heir. Little Jaehaerys, Aegon and Helena's son is dead. Obviously that was a big, quite gruesome thing in the first episode to see. Kristen Cole, he had an interesting season. He's Hand of the King to or was Hand of the King to Aegon at one point.
Yeah, obviously has that his little romance with Alicent. Then he goes off with the Hightower army and fights for a little bit. But yeah, I didn't. But he had like a little confession, didn't he? He didn't see the stuff at the time. He just watched like he's full of regret, saying that this is now the Targaryen war. We're just pawns, and it's going to end in fire and bloodshed.
We're just going to our death.
Yeah,
we're going to go die wherever we're going now. It's battle, so that was die here.
Adam Velaryon being claimed by Sea Smoke.
him being claimed by Sea Smoke.
That was really funny. Sea Smoke was like, "You'll do. I like you," and he's like, "Oh." But I like Adam Velaryon. He seems like a nice guy.
Sort of, he shares half the same blood as Laenor, which was Sea Smoke's previous rider, obviously. So
isn't he Corlys's bastard?
Yeah, Adam is.
Yeah, and
bastard,
who's the other fella?
And Alan.
Oh, Alan.
Yeah. He's the person who he's like his first mate, I think, on his ship. So he's Corlys has had a bit of a character arc in this one. Obviously, Rhaenys died, losing Rhaenys, and then Rhaenyra wanted to make him her hand. So she sent, I think it was Baylor. She sent with the pin to give to him, and it was I don't know, and had that little thing, and then of course he's doing it all for Rhaenys. He's trying to make it up to his bastards a little bit with, had to try and have a little heart to heart with Alan in this last episode, and he was like, "No, you haven't been a father to me. Go away. You've never been a father to me."
Yeah, that was funny.
And then of course, Adam is the rider of Sea Smoke.
Sea Smoke, yes,
which is cool.
Drogon's granddad. He looks just like Drogon from Game of Thrones.
Even though it's supposed to be...
I know.
Some Syraxes? They're supposed to be Syraxes, aren't they?
I've heard it's... At least everyone's saying it's Dreamfire's clutch was Daenerys' dragons from Game of Thrones. But anyway. I loved how the show began. Let's back to episode 1 where we hear the Stark theme. They
go to the wall.
They fly over Winterfell, and we see the wall, and we see Cregan Stark, who's going to play a very important role towards the end of Dance of the Dragons, which we won't spoil. But it was great seeing him, and he commits like his like old warriors. We see them marching south, and I think they're going to kick a lot of arse in season 3. They're badass, those guys. So yeah, and of course the Starks play quite an important role, I think, towards the end of Dance of Dragons, which I won't say more of. But yes, it was good. I think this definitely was a good season. I can see why a lot of fans are a bit frustrated we didn't get more action set pieces. And like Callum said, I would have liked one more major battle from Dance of Dragons, because we've only had Rook's Rest this season. One moment. So, but season 3, I think we've seen season 3 is definitely where the war is fully in action now. This was like the prelude to war, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A few things instigating war, but season 3 is gonna be just bloodshed and fire and carnage. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and a lot of characters are going to bite the dust in season 3 and season 4. Most of them, really. I think only a handful survive Dance of Dragons. Oh, it's going to be heartbreaking. It's going to
spoiler. Sorry.
Some people haven't. Any Game of Thrones fans know most characters do bite the dust.
Yeah, I just felt personally that they dragged out all of the political stuff. Like again, having a battle to end, this episode today ending. Season 2 would have just been a nice sort of maybe having a major death of a particular person I actually don't mind dying right now. We'll talk about him in probably a minute. But anyway, it's just felt like you had 8 episodes worth of Daemon being in Harrenhal basically for most of the time.
A lot of filler, I thought.
There was a lot of filler. I mean, again, they did have filler. Yeah, I mean, they did have the stuff with Aegon and Aemon being the Prince Regent and the stuff they needed to have. They needed to have all of that in there. But it probably could have been a bit more condensed, and perhaps there could have been one more battle thrown in to finish the season. Personally, Jacaerys. As the person I was
because this is basically he hates how they're using half bastards to take the dragons, but like Jace, you're a bastard.
The last 2 episodes, he's just been so. To be fair, all he's been doing all season is like undermining Rhaenyra pretty much, because everything she says, he's always got something to say. And in the last 2 episodes, when you've got Ulf and Hugh and Adam claiming the unclaimed dragons, he's coming in and saying, "Oh, you're not sacred blood. You're not this. You're not that."
He was okay with Hugh. It was just Ulf being an idiot, I think. Yeah.
Well, it was when he said to Rhaenyra in the episode before. He was like, "I don't want this. Well, what are you doing? This could all go wrong." I mean, technically, he was right.
Well, the Dragon Keepers.
They didn't like.
They were like, we will not partake in this. The dragons are sacred. How dare you? And they just walked out on Rhaenyra.
But I thought, they
didn't like it.
Considering Jacaerys is also a bastard, he was probably a little bit
Hypocrite.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Which he said to Rhaenyra in that same episode. It was like, oh, I know that I'm, I know that I'm the son of a strong.
Yeah.
So
well, you just get a little pep talk at the end with what's her name? I keep forgetting her name.
Baylor,
just get
his wife.
Little pep talk from Baylor to say like your mother will need you in season 3, and she will.
Oh. Not that he gets much of a chance if Battle of the Gullets coming up soon.
we did
What
say
do you mean?
spoilers.
I mean, anything could happen there.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay then. So yeah, for the most part, season 2 has been great. Overall, I'd say I probably do prefer season 1. I think season 1 had the stronger characters, the stronger episodes, and had 10 episodes. I think season 1 too, and plus I do love the series. Now he did make some cameos with Damon's visions.
Yeah.
That was great to see.
And young Rhaenyra as well.
Yeah,
she was in a few as well of his
2 scenes. Yeah,
in his nightmares.
But it still was a good season. A bit too much filler for our tastes, but I think season 3 is going to be crazy. So yeah, let's give our overall ranking, not rankings, scores. How about we score just very quickly out of 10 all the seasons of Game of Thrones, and then we'll end with House of the Dragon. This won't take long. So, okay, season 1 Game of Thrones, 10 out of 10.
10.
Season 2 Game of Thrones,
10.
10. Season 3 Game of Thrones,
10.
10. Season 4,
10.
15. Season 4 is amazing. Season 5 of Game of Thrones, 8.
9.
Season 6 of Game of Thrones, 9.
9.
Season 7 of Game of Thrones, 7.5.
8.
So okay. Season 8 of Game of Thrones, 0 minus 54.
Episodes 1 to 3, 5. Episodes after, 0.5.
Minus 55. Season 1 of House of the Dragon, I'd give an 8. I really like House of the Dragon season 1. I thought it was great.
Yeah, 8, 9.
And this season, I'd give a solid 7. Solid 8. 8. Okay.
Yeah. Again, I think it's just lacking that extra bit.
Yeah.
But then so was some of the game. Like the first season of Game of Thrones was literally a lot of that political stuff and what have you. So I mean, it does need to be there.
But season 1 Game of Thrones was a world of its own. I think
I'm not compare it in terms of the way that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, Callum. That has been our House of the Dragon season 2 review. Any fellow Game of Thrones House of the Dragon fans, what did you think? Did you think they spun their wheels a bit too much this season? We should have had a few more battles here and there, a little bit less filler, or did you think it was the political intrigue and the drama and the characters were still top notch? And of course, like we said, it's a very, very strong ending, and the hype for season 3 for 2 years of waiting now is going to be huge. We're going to get a lot of battles and a lot of bloodshed. So yeah. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye. Vala Morgulis. Vala.
It's like
Daharis.
That's it.
And before we go,
supposed to be the start.
I was going to start the video, but I forgot.
It took so long to start.